If the doctor whom you sued, who you believe was careless and caused you significant harm and injury, went to a foreign medical school and it took him more than the traditional 4 years in which to graduate, does that mean that you are much more likely to win your case? Does that mean that the doctor is less credible than he otherwise would be if he attended a U.S. medical school and now it took him only 4 years to graduate? You want to know the answer? Come join me in this walk through the neighborhood as I share with you the answer to that question. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury attorney. The short answer is no, it may not make a difference at all. However, the jury may ultimately come to the conclusion that the doctor has a learning deficit, a knowledge deficit, when and if your case goes to trial, years down the road. Now, the jury will have to evaluate the doctor's credentials. The jury will have to decide whether the doctor is believable and credible. They will have to take into account the why. Why did he go to medical school out of the country? What was the condition? What was the reason? And if the doctor doesn't provide a reason and we don't obtain a reason, they're going to insert in their own minds why he went to medical school out of the country. And the logical explanation is he couldn't get into a U.S. medical school because he was not qualified. So now let's say he goes to a foreign medical school, and normally it takes 4 years to go ahead and complete medical school in the United States, and in practically every medical school in Europe, it also takes 4 years, and there are some exceptions. But what happens though if it takes a doctor longer, let's say 5 years, to go ahead and complete his medical degree at this foreign medical school? Does that automatically mean that the doctor is less credible? Does that automatically mean that the doctor's testimony should not be believed? The fact that the doctor had to go out of the United States to train in medicine and that it took him 5 years to complete his training, does that mean he is less believable? The short answer is maybe. Then again, the longer answer is maybe no. And let me tell you why as we hear the bells ring in the background. I'll tell you why. One of the things that the jury has to do when your case goes to trial is evaluate the doctor's credentials. They have to evaluate whether he's credible. If the doctor can present to the jury a credible reason that makes sense about why he attended medical school outside of the country, now they may feel sorry for him. Let's say he had family living there and there was a death in the family and he wanted to go live with the remaining family members. And this is where he wanted to do his training. Okay, that may be a plausible reason why this guy went to medical school in the Caribbean or somewhere else. So the fact that it may have taken the doctor 5 years to complete medical school instead of 4, I don't think is going to be a credibility problem. I think it'll be a knowledge deficit problem. Why? Because it means that the doctor was not qualified to go ahead and continue his studies. Maybe he failed the number of classes that he had to repeat. And that could clearly indicate that the doctor again has a knowledge deficit, that there's a problem with his ability to understand the medicine, to know the medicine, and to really function as a physician. So now let's get back to the question of whether the doctor is going to be credible. Let's say in this example, this doctor went to a foreign medical school and now it took him 5 years to graduate. Now, after a number of years, he comes back to the United States and he becomes board certified in his particular specialty. What does that mean? It means that now the doctor has achieved the highest level of certification that he can achieve in his particular medical specialty. The fact that it took him so long to graduate and that he had to attend medical school outside of the country, is that now going to impact his ability to convince this jury that what he did was appropriate? The fact that he has become board certified in this hypothetical scenario will impact that answer. Why? Because in order for the doctor to achieve that level of certification, you have to have an understanding, a national understanding among physicians in the entire country about what the standards of care were and how to treat patients for particular problems. And the only way you're going to achieve success and achieve board certification is if you have a particular level of understanding in your particular specialty. And the only way you're going to achieve board certification in that specialty is with a particular level of understanding. So that may alter the jury's perception of whether or not this doctor is credible, and whether or not what he says about what he did and why in your particular case, that may clearly impact the jury's ability to believe this doctor. And that's why I said at the beginning of this video that the answer is maybe yes and then again, maybe no. So why do I share this quick information with you? I share it with you just to give you a quick understanding of what really happens in these medical malpractice cases here in New York. You know, I realize and I recognize you're likely watching this video because you have questions or concerns about your own matter. Well, if your matter did happen in New York and you have not yet started a lawsuit because you still have questions that need to be answered, what I invite you to do is pick up the phone and call me. You know, I answer questions like yours every single day, and I'd love to chat with you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at Oginski-law.com. That's it for today's video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a wonderful day.